Hi guys, welcome to the Saving Money Show with me, your host Sean. If you find any of today's entertainment helpful, don't forget to smash the lovely like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell notification. You'll be notified when a new video gets uploaded. If you're looking for a free trading platform in which to trade, don't forget to check out the links in the description below. You'll get a free share for worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing a small amount. Free trade just requires a £1 deposit. Now on with the big show and the big reveal. One of my 5 portfolios. Now remember, I did only start this in March with £4,000. Now I have, and some of these are just such small spec stocks, they're not worth talking about, such as AA. You know, I mean, to tell the truth, I it's a 1.89 PE, 2.32 dividend, but and I'm just banking on it. If it comes back, then great. This is enough to make it. I mean, all through this coronavirus, AA have been working. AA8 Holdings, I did a video and I compared these, and I just think they've done well during this time, and even if they haven't, good one for the future. Sorry, I didn't go through it properly. It has a 14.41 PE and 3.35 dividend. AT&T, I've done a video on them. Now, just showing me it being down, which is funny because this isn't my working capital, this is profit. Now, if you see what they were like earlier in the year, and I bought in at 28, I would have liked to have bought in a little lower, but a little more, because I then sold out when they went up, and not quite at the top, but at 32, and then I used the profit to buy back in. Okay, they're going to be one of the main players with 5G. Altria, I've done a video about them. Dividend king, given 8.59% dividend, 13.15. They have a few growth companies on subsidiaries, such as in the MJ market. 45. They've increased their stake in Cronus to 45%. They've got 40% in other companies. They have a stake in AB InBev, which is Budweiser. Now, American Express, this is a new one. I was planning on doing a video on them, but I'll just inform you about it. I bought them. They've gone up a few dollars on the back of it. It's 1.69% dividend, 12.73 PE ratio. Personally, I prefer MasterCard, Visa and PayPal. However, they've all been trying to get a deal to operate in China. American Express has just signed a deal to operate in China, which is why I bought in Afria. Now, a guy speak to, a Scottish guy, he's a YouTuber, a journey into stocks, put me onto this, and I'm glad he has. He reckons it could double, and I looked into it. At the time I was a bit reluctant because I already had a stake in Cronus because of Altria, and I also had a stake in GW Pharmaceuticals. It's not a profitable company yet, but he's right. I think it can become profitable because it's gone into the medicinal as well as just the MJ market. Arrow Global. Now this is a UK company. 3.82, 4.6% dividend yield, and they go in the purchase, collection and servicing of non-performing loans. So basically, when you see on TV all these bailiff companies and that, you know, they have them. They also deal with banks and credit card companies, and they have a huge. They use its knowledge in data analytics, you know, and asset resolution to establish payment plans, you know. So they don't just go straight to bailiffs. Aviva, no. These are a good one. Sorry, it's an insurance which is 4.29%, 3.44%, and in my opinion, they have quite a bit of growth potential. You know, the revenues have been increasing. BT Group. Now, I have said they, I believe, they can come back to their highs, especially with 5G. They took over EE, which is the largest provider of mobile services in UK, and so BT and EE together will basically own the UK, and for Wi-Fi, internet and mobile, they will own about 70% of it, if not more. And BT also operate in Europe as well. Bank of America, I've done a video on these. They're trading at a huge discount, as you can see, and they're one of the two best banks, in my opinion, in America. P/E ratio of 8.25, dividend of 2.91. They've been beaten down, but mine's up to 0.19%. Barrick Gold. Now, it's one of the companies that I said should buy because it's below intrinsic value, and of course gold is good against the crash, and I've done a video on these as well. The P ratio is high, but it gives a dividend. I bought them when they were still exploring, and I sold them because I needed the money, and I regretted it ever since. Beyond Meat, I've done a video on these, how they're so much further along than they was when they were this price, and for them to be a discount, you know, I just think they're such a good growth stock. They're going to be like the Facebook or Amazon of vegan food. Biffa, this is a new one to my portfolio. Now, it may be a bit down since I bought it, but I don't mind. This is the waste management of the UK. Does exactly the same. Processing and disposal of waste and recyclable materials, as well as related work in production and sale of energy derived from the waste. So they get the gas, methane gas from the waste, and sell it on. So it's not just dealing with waste like some companies. And PE of 11.02, dividend yield of 1.2. Now, the good thing about this is the last quarter, their revenues increased 7% to 1.16 billion. Now, net income increased as well by almost 3 times the amount. Now, the thing is, they haven't been in demand because the dividend has decreased. But they have done the sensible thing in that they have signed off and they have used a lot of that money to pay off some of their debt, and they have used it to improve some of their facilities. So if you see here, debt to assets is 70%, but it's when you think, I just think this is good. I would prefer a bit better profit margin, but that's what they are investing the money in. So it's a short-term pain as a investor for a long-term gain. Brookfield Property Partners. Now I'm up already. I sold this at $12.50, and I bought back in at $10.79. It's a REIT, and core office retail in all across the world, really, and a PE of 5.91, dividend of 11.95. Sorry, I know my voice is monotonous. CVS Health. Now, I believe this to be a company that does well in a crash. So if there is a crash, this will do well. It's like protection against a crash, like Barrick Gold. Rather than pulling my money out and leaving it doing nothing and risk missing out if there isn't a crash, I have companies like these that are crash proof, that earn me money if there isn't a crash, and earn me more money if there is a crash. So it offsets it. It's kind of like having oil tanker stocks and oil companies. PE ratio 11.63, dividend yield 3.12. Card Factory. Now, this is a company that is trading at a huge discount because they've closed their shops. However, if you live in the UK, you know Card Factory. The PE ratio is 2.58, dividend yield is 7.12%. I expect them to cut that. Now, for the year ending to January 2020, revenues increased 4%. Net income decreased 2%. Now, it's a profit margin of 11.43 and debt to assets of 61%. I just think that's good for a company like that. I think they'll do well. They'll come out of this. Whenever I go to Card Factory, it's always packed. There's always a queue. They do a good product, good prices. Cruisy doozy, as someone I follow says. Now, P ratio 22.3. Doesn't give a dividend because they're growing. Revenues increased 8% last quarter. Now, the only thing stops me putting more money in this is that 8% of the revenue comes from Apple. If Apple turns around and says, we're cancelling your contract, as they have in the past with some people, they're done for, but they're an amazing company. Clovis Oncology, oh, geez. You know what? I'm 37 cents a share down on that. It's growing. They reckon there's a takeover bid coming in for that. I'm not too convinced. I made my own mistake folding it through FDA approval because I heard it was getting FDA approval and it fell. Now, it's Coca-Cola. I said I would be picking it up, and I did, because getting a dividend king like that for P ratio of 21 at 3.6%, you won't get a chance like this again. The only reason like this is because they didn't do as well because they're in drinks only station and restaurants are closed, whereas Pepsi are in drinks and snacks, and that's why they've thrived. Corning, I mentioned them. They're at a discount, and I'm up on them. As I said, if you're not sure which medical company going to, why not go into one that will profit no matter who wins? Go into The vaccine glass company. They're the one company that makes the little glass tubes that the vaccines go in. Apparently they can't make enough of them. Now, this is an ETF I went into because it was low and I thought it had a good value. I don't know enough about it, and it was more an impulse buy. Gives a dividend yield of 2.86, a PE ratio of 9, and I wanted exposure to the Asian market, and I may end up coming out of it. FireEye, I spoke about them. So a few people have tried warning me off of it, but a lot of retail investors have been going in as well. It's cloud-based subscription and services, and has increased revenues. I just think there's some life in it. It's very cheap. GW Pharmaceuticals, I'm down on, but I think in the long run it'll come good. It's one of the few companies that are okayed in UK. Gazprom, I spoke when I first started how there's a P ratio of 3.29 and a dividend yield of 9.1%. It's a Russian oil company, and it's as I said, it's to offset tanker stocks. Gilead Sciences, as I said, it has an intrinsic value of $73 to $76, and if it does come out with a cure, it will charge a lot for the cure, whether it's needed or not. Glaxo, this is at such a discount now. At $17, at $20 is a discount, and they have the common sense to not enter in the race for the vaccine. They're entering in the race for the booster, because they know that whoever wins the vaccine race, you will need a booster shot afterwards. So they're going for a booster. It's a P ratio 11.8, dividend yield of 5. Now, Grubhub, I mentioned these before. Now, when the whole market went red, I sold my profits in my other shares and went into this company because it dropped down to 57. That very same day, it went up to 62. So I made $5 a share on this. I came back out, and the rest of the market was down, and I bought back in and increased my stake in the other companies. I also used the profit to buy a Tesla share, which was at $9.40 when I bought it. Now, whether you like Tesla or not, the thing is, as you can see, I've reduced my shareholding because it was over 9k. Illumina is a company that I spoke about before. You rarely get a company, especially an American company, holds 75% of the market that is allowed to hold so much of the data within the market. Now, the PE ratio is high, obviously, but as you know, it's a growth stock, so they're not done on their PE alone. This is another one in the finance market area that is heavily discounted. It's a growth dividend stock. It's another one that does unsecured consumer finance products, and you'll see why. PE ratio of 2.1, dividend of 7.26, beta of under 1. Now, I did a video talking about L3 Harris, and I hate this where trading 212 only goes back a few months on some stock. Now, they've been given a contract to do the software on the US election. It's down a little bit, but they'll come back. Legal in general, I did a video on these. I'm up on these. It's an insurance arm. They went against the Bank of England and the regulator to make sure they paid the dividend when things were tough, 7.79%. So they're not going to cut it now. PE ratio is 7.23%. Luckin Coffee, they have apparently skyrocketed. What I did was I took out my initial investment, and this was I took out my initial investment, and this was what was left over in profit. Now, apparently the German auditor gone through things, and they're supposed to be okay, and it has risen substantially on the German market. M&T Bank, I did a video on these. These are one of my favourite banks in America. They are below its intrinsic value. It's below its price to book, just like Bank of America, which is what they're valued on. I'm down, but it will come up again. 7.92 PE ratio, 4.04% dividend. Marks and Spencer's a small position, mainly because it's at such a discount, and you have PE ratio of 4.79, dividend of 3.69%. Medical Properties Trust. I did a video on REITs, and this was one of them. It's trading at discount, and a PE ratio of 23, a dividend yield of 5.57. Merck, what more to be said about them? Experts in vaccines, discount below its intrinsic value, and PE ratio of 14.23, dividend of 3.2%. Moderna, we all know about Moderna, and they're runners in the vaccine. They're starting phase 2. Neo, now I was going to do a video basically with it breaking through new resistance markers. I think it can hit $10. It all depends on how good the sales are going to be. Fizzy gets dizzy. Well, National Beverage Company, I'm up on that. P ratio 19. I still think this would be an amazing takeover target. Nordic American Tankers, ticker symbol NAT, dividend yield of 8.81%. I've done a video recently on them. Well, quite a few videos. You're probably tired of them. Penn National Gaming. I did a video on them versus DraftKings, and these came out on top. P ratio 27.33. Remark Holdings. I did a video on these. I'm down on this, but that's only because I sold out. I sold out my position, and with a profit, this is what I have left. So it's not really. It's not really what my working capital is, just the profit. Serica Energy. Now, I just think has room to grow. Now, Slack. We all know about Slack. Taylor Wimpey has built at a discount. 7.56 P ratio. Dividend will be 2.53% if they keep it up. Uber, this is a recent one because I have heard that rideshare company in Russia are looking to take buy their service in Russia. and take over the company in Russia. Now, the Vanguard FTSE 100, this was up until recently, but this is a long-term one. You know, this was one of my first purchases on here. I've got a pending order for Vanguard FTSE Emerging Market. Someone asked me to purchase it for them. Virgin Galactic. Now, which is ticker symbol SPCE. I think long term has got legs. Waste management, I spoke about it before. I've done a video about it. Warren Buffett's got shares in it. 24.42 PE, 2.1% dividend. Whitbread, I've done a video about this recently. Now, they're a company, they're a huge discount. They have cash on hand, PE ratio 11.74%, dividend of 1.19, beta of 1.09. Not only do they have cash on hand, not only are they in a great position, they've got a profit margin of 11%. Not only are their debt to assets only 52%, they have issued shares on the market, and they've got £1 billion, raised £1 billion from it, which they didn't need, which makes me think they are going to start acquisition process of one of their competitors who are struggling really badly at the moment and facing bankruptcy, and they pick them up for pennies in the dollar. Now, this is another one I've just picked up. This protected against crash. iShares, Fallen Angels, high yield. Corporate bonds. Now, this is the thing I don't get. That with now, look at this. Invested £16,065. Return minus £202. Portfolio £15,862. What I don't understand about this, I've only invested £4,000 in this portfolio. When it's made a profit, it's stayed in there. And tell the truth, I have at the start I did something stupid because I needed the money urgently. I did withdraw the £4,000, but I haven't put £16,000 in there. If the share price goes down, it says £14,000 invested. Now, I think they still have things to do to work on their app, but I do have an invest, which is British Land Company, that you see Cruisy Doozy there, Custodian REIT, Dark Group, Ocugen, Quantum, who I've done a video about before, and Red Row, and Smile Direct Club. I'm sorry this has gone on so long. I'm sorry this has gone on so long, but I'll try and keep them shorter in the future. If you have enjoyed today's entertainment, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.